Disney's Dinosaur is a movie that many would consider a Disney classic. I myself am hit with a huge wave of nostalgia every time I watch this movie, and many would consider it the next best dinosaur movie besides Jurassic Park. But all nostalgia aside, the movie itself is a very impressive piece of work, as many of the backdrops of the movie are actual locations and they just animated the dinosaurs over. And the dinosaurs themselves look pretty realistic with detailed designs and smooth animations. Visually, the movie is amazing, and one that presents a tone more upbeat and happy. Sure, there's a lot of darker scenes in this movie, but nothing so bad that it would traumatize a little kid. And that's more than what I could say about what the initial idea for this project was. So as you all know, Disney's Dinosaur just had their 20th anniversary this month on May 19th. Hopefully I could say this month because there is a chance this gets uploaded in June. It wouldn't be Dino Diego if it wasn't late. So to celebrate this milestone this Disney classic has recently undergone, I figured let's do a little video on it. But not just any video. Initially I was going to do a review of this movie, but I wanted to do something that I found far more interesting. So if you're not familiar with the initial idea of what this movie was originally going to be, then strap in, because this is going to be a very weird and dark ride. The story behind Dinosaur that we all know and love revolves around Aladar, a friendly iguanodon who lives with a bunch of prehistoric lemurs. After being pushed out of their home by a meteor shower, Aladar and his friends have to trek along the unforgiving prehistoric landscape in the hopes of finding a new home. On the way, they befriend even more dinosaurs and find out they're being pursued by Carnotauruses, the dinosaur antagonist of this movie. Despite the journey and all of the obstacles that came along with it, they manage to find a safe place to call home and start their new life. That's the cute, kid-friendly version that made the cut, but the one from the minds of Phil Tippett and Paul Verhoeven is something that is a much darker story. In 1986, the idea to even make a dinosaur movie was brought up by Phil Tippett, but rather than a kids movie, he saw it more as a dark and realistic film about dinosaurs in a live-action form, where he figured they would use stop motion with puppets and dinosaur models. This was just one of many versions of this movie, and not surprisingly, Disney was not on board with this version at all, obviously because it was too dark for their taste. So what was this dark story that Disney was so against? The movie was originally pitched as a silent stop-motion film that would have been a lot darker and grittier. The reason why it would be silent was to make the movie feel more realistic. The movie would have featured a Styracosaurus named Woot as its main character, and a small mammal creature named Suri as a supporting character. The main antagonist would have been a T-Rex by the name of Grozny. Not much of what the story was going to be has been revealed, but it would have involved a very violent battle between Woot and Grozny. Woot would eventually defeat Grozny in their final battle, but it wouldn't have mattered because the film would end on a very depressing and dark note, as it would have ended with the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event having an asteroid crashing onto Earth, wiping out most of the life on the planet, including our lead characters. A good example of what this movie would have been like is Phil Tippett's much earlier project, Prehistoric Beast, a stop-motion short that featured a ceratopsid in the Cretaceous wilderness being pursued by a T-Rex. Once the T-Rex shows itself, a battle ensues between the two giants. In the end, the T-Rex defeats the ceratopsid. It's easy to see where the inspiration from this short came from and how it would have been applied to the original idea of Disney's Dinosaur, had it been made the way Tippett initially envisioned. This short does everything right that people would really want to see in a realistic dinosaur movie. The complete lack of dialogue, almost no music, the dinosaurs behaving and acting like dinosaurs, and the sad ending for the ceratopsid are massive contributors to why this film works so well. It's presented realistically. I'm glad we were given something like Disney's Dinosaur, even if I'm not against the idea of having a dinosaur movie that has more of a realistic take on them. There have been many attempts at this in the past, but it always seems to end the same, with the film just being pushed down to a more kid-friendly version, since dinosaurs are mostly associated with children. Maybe one day there will be a movie that shows us the true lives of the dinosaurs and holds nothing back. And, on a side note, I've heard from others that this initial dinosaur movie was going to have a lot more in it, including graphic murder, dinosaur sex, and even a part where dinosaurs are just taking a crap. While researching for this video, I actually haven't seen any of that anywhere, and I haven't seen anything confirming that the movie was going to be like this, so I can't say whether or not that's actually true. It's possible it could just be people speculating on the internet, but regardless, it just would have added to the darker and more realistic tone to this movie. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have on this topic. As I said before, I initially was going to do a full-on review of this movie and go very in-depth with it, but because of timing and my day-to-day things, I just couldn't get it done. Plus, I have a bunch of other stuff in the works that I'm trying to release at a reasonable time, so hopefully you at least enjoyed this video. And if you did, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more dinosaur stuff that I post here on the channel. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please, have a nice day.